You're locked in. Oh, yeah. You're locked in. Hey. Pure energy. Pure energy. Respect all morphs. We behind the scenes. Shared tested DNA. We verify the genes. Yes. Yes. Yo, welcome to the facility where the giants reside. Multi-gene investments keeping vision alive. From the Swiss peaks down to the southern shoreline. Stacking up the combos, yeah, we refine the design. Crossing every border, yeah, we're setting the pace. Ease the latent traits and the thrill of the race. The elite collective, yeah, you found your space. A global revolution, yeah, we're stating our case. Check the frequency, we're leveling the squad. You're tuned into the source, Pappy's premium pod. From the lineage for Europe to the culture we lead. Providing all the blueprints that the breeders need. The bloodline is royal, watch us breaking the mold. Yeah, Pappy's premium on, dropping nothing but gold. Let's talk genetics, deep inside the dermis, from the clown to the deep. He's emerging from the furnace.
It's passing over profits that it takes it to the crash. Hitting all the odds and we're checking the math.
No shade in the trade, keep the thermostats high. This podcast, the voices echoing through the sky. Locking up the parents, let the patterns fly. Every single hatchling, catching every single eye.
Hey, I. Hey, I. Knowledge is the power, the foundation of the game. European legacy, you remember the name. From the first ovulation to the end of the chase. Join the inner circle, just you found your place.
The podcast that keeps it real. Lock in for this great episode. Nothing but gold. Nothing but gold.
Yes. What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. How's everybody doing today? Hope everyone had a nice, chilled Friday and ease into the weekend. It's still warm out there, so stay hydrated. So, guys, as always, if you're like me and you live and breathe reptiles, you know that we aren't here for the clicks or the viral trends. We are here for the true passion. I started this show because I wanted a place for the real keepers and dedicated breeders to finally have a community within Europe where we can talk shop, share tips and tricks, and basically deep dive into the hobby that we love. I started this with one single goal, and that is sharing the passion that drives us. And every week we sit down with some of the biggest legends in the game and some of the newest up-and-coming prospects as well. My name is Roger with Pappy's Premium Pythons, and this is Pappy's Premium Pod. So, quick disclaimer, ladies and gentlemen, Pappy's Premium Pod is sponsored by ProHerper. He is the European leader in reptile genetics, specializing in sex identification, genetic verification, disease testing, all that usual good stuff. So, join the global hashtag #BreedDifferent movement now. Get the best value for your money and start testing with ProHerper today to verify your reptile's genetic potential and maximize your collection's value. ProHerper is known for its fast turnaround times, high-quality tests, and European-wide accepted certificates. And a bit more on that later because there's some news I want to share with you guys as well. So, as you guys know, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are heading back to the land of the knights, the beautiful England. We're going to feature a breeder who has been, making some waves since 2019. You can see on the image there, I guess that side maybe for you guys. And yeah, help me out, guys. I'm not sure whether that classifies as a newbie or a veteran. A lot of people have different opinions on that. So you guys in the chat, let me know what is the cutoff for that. And yeah, this episode's a special one dedicated to all the Python lovers out there. You know, whether you're just starting your journey or you've been, you know, chasing the perfect pattern for years. This is a conversation that you will not want to miss. And yeah, so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here to share the work, the focus, and the passion behind these programs, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Matt from SPR Pythons.
Hello, buddy.
What's up, mate?
The English accent's coming out strong from the start. I don't know how proud I am to be English at the minute, Roger. Well, I don't know if you saw the football at the weekend. It's a bit of a sore subject at the minute. I need a bit of time to get over the fact I'm English and that we seem to be becoming notorious bottle jobs, my friend.
I mean, you know, top 4. There's something to be proud of, you know, and yeah, I mean, we'll not get into that. We'll see tomorrow. Top 4 guaranteed anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was watching the match against Argentina, and I was like, oh, they might actually do it. And then comes like minutes, I don't know, 75 or something, and your man decides to throw in all the center backs, and I was like, no, you idiots! Have you not watched any of Argentina's matches? They're losing. They're just gonna pile up, and you can't stop them. So
yep.
I just said, you know, maybe that's another coach that's going to get sacked after this World Cup, but
we'll see, Roger. We'll see.
Yeah. I'm glad my coach got sacked because, yeah, there's no need to talk about it anymore. But I mean, my parents are from Cape Verde, so Cabo Verde, come on. So I was very, 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 very proud. To be fair, we are the only team who stay unbeaten in the 90 minutes against the 2 best teams in the World Cup, I guess.
Yeah, ironically, the 2 teams in the final both seem to struggle against you, so or your parents' team. So take something from it. Absolutely. I mean, I was out in Portugal for quite a lot of the World Cup. I loved it, but I was there when unfortunately you got knocked out from Spain. It wasn't a very happy night in Portugal that night. All the others were very good.
Well, look, go and never come back, Martinez. Yes. Shout out Pedro. Got Pedro in the chat. But anyway, let's see. We got some people in the chat here. We've got Max from the UK. He's in the house. What's up, Andy? Good to see you here as always. We got Nikki from Belgium. What's up? Nice. And yeah, we got Pedro already. Shut it up, Pedro. So good. Yeah, let's get started, man. How's it going? How you been? How's your season going?
Yeah, no, it's going good. I think a lot of people are talking about having late seasons. Mine wasn't so much late in the sense of when I got my first ovulation. It's just been a bit quiet again. So, I mean, this season, and then in 2025, I've not paired up to the same level that I was in 2020 to 2024. I'm sure we're going to come on and have a discussion about the market. At the moment, there's not point in breeding for the sake of breeding. I'm just purely breeding to try and produce things that I actually want to keep. So, yeah, I've not been on top of the pairings massively, and therefore the ovulations just haven't been coming. So last year I had 4 clutches, and then this year I've had 4 as well. There's a couple of other girls that may end up going on to ovulate and lay a little bit later in the season. But yeah, I think, to be honest, my season is probably done. But I'm not upset about it at the minute, Roger. I think at the moment we're in a position where there's not a lot of surplus income, and there's quite a few snakes that are just sitting on the market. And the more clutches that come along, all you're doing is further inflating that problem. And there's a lot of conversation around when's the market going to come back, and it will come back. Like any business market, it will have dips and booms. It will come back. However, the longer that, quite frankly, this prolonged period of people not breeding as much goes on, will only help bring that back quicker, because you'll start to even out the supply and the demand, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with that. Oh, man, just as we started, this camera's been on for, I don't know, couple
3 hours.
of hours at least. And
There you
now
go.
it decides to quit. Like, God damn it. I deliberately kept it on since we did the sound check to make sure it wouldn't cut off, and it's been fine. As soon as we go live, look, 10 minutes in, and it's anyway.
Yep, always the way.
But I mean, tell us about yourself for the people who don't know. You know who you are, what you do, how you started breathing.
Yeah, sure. I ironically, I got my first snake because I had a phobia of snakes. Well, that's a little bit of a lie. So I did have a phobia of snakes. My auntie kind of kept all sorts, so corn snakes, royals, some tortoises, lizards, pretty much an all-rounder. And when I was 13 or 12, I had a 6-week summer holiday like we have. I imagine you have it in all of Europe, to be honest, but in the UK. And I thought rather than just sitting and playing video games like every other kid, I go and spend a couple of weeks at my aunt's because she had corn snake clutches hatching out. She had, tortoises going into hibernation and stuff. And that was the sort of thing that kept me busy. So I went up there. We hatched out, she hatched out a clutch of corn snakes. And at 13 years old, I brought one of those back with me, stuck it on top of my wardrobe, so way up in the corner of the room, and it stayed up there for a year before anyone found it. The discovery was not the snake itself; it was the frozen mice at the bottom of the freezer. Why is there frozen mice in the freezer? No one's eating those, are they, Mum? So that exposed me, and then so I kept a couple of royals between then and sort of 2018. In 2018, I did the typical thing of saying I'm an adult now, and I went out and bought about 5 ball pythons and was like, "What are you going to do? I'm an adult. Stop me." Which went down like a lead balloon, but Mother's been fully supportive ever since. So 2019 is when I established SPR, and I had my first clutch in 2020, just as COVID was cracking on. But the name SPR says what I do, really, Roger. Solely pied royal pythons is the name. To this day, there has never been an animal in this collection that hasn't been at least possible het pied. And now, I mean, everything is either het pied or pied, because with shed testing, most things get shed tested before they come or when they get here. Or so, but to the name's sort of origin, there has never been anything in this collection that hasn't been at least possible het pied. If I had a pound for every time someone would say you'll get bored of that, you'll start working on clown and desert ghost, and I'd be a rich man. But my motto has always been, if I want to work on clown, if I want to work on ultra mel, then I'll do it, but I'm bringing it in. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
That's a beautiful thing. Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about this hobby. I mean, like I said, if you want to work only pieds, I mean, you can work everything else in your pieds. So, I mean, it works.
Yep.
Except I think like special and black pastel, maybe they don't work so much.
There are genes, of course, where I'm limited. I mean, the best one for that for me, Roger, in terms of examples, I love the bamboo. In the single form, I think bamboo is one of the craziest genes for what it can do. But it's an all-white pied with small eyes, so it can't happen for me because of my motto. But the reason it's pied, I first saw a pied and I fell in love with it, like so many people do when it comes to royals, which is why there will always be a pied market. And I just said, like, that's all I want to do. There's so much variation from high to low whites, from color patterns. Yeah, it's the same for every gene. But for me, and I'm the exact same, like in the future, I will do fish because that's just my mentality. Once I see something, I want to do it. And when I do fish, I can tell you now, I'm only going to do clownfish because it's similar in the pied. It's the pattern, the white, and I will, and I'll stick to it because that's just like when I've got something in my head, I will go for it. So yeah, pied is my game.
Yeah, no, speaking of fish, actually, there was last year I went to a local exotic expo kind of show, like a very small thing, like in like a school gym or something. And the amount of fish that was there, or most of it was fish. I think there's like 2 tables of snakes and 1 of frogs or something. But it was like the aquarium stuff is very big here in Portugal. So I saw these aquariums and I was like, I need to have this at home. So you had these aquariums with the clownfish, and they had these like UV lights on top, like those like dark nights you see in clubs, and like the way it was shining on the fish, it just made them like 15 times better. Like it was amazing. I was like, wow. If I ever get an aquarium of fish, it has to be something like this. Those things are unreal. Very, very cool. And then the corals or whatever they use to mimic corals. The light would shine off it, and like it was like neon. It was amazing. But anyway, no, I wanted to ask about that. What is your thing with pied? Are you more in the low whites, more in the more pattern, less pattern? What's your thing?
My thing is low white. I really like the low white stuff now that I've developed. So when I first started, it was the medium whites. I wanted the pattern and the white to be an even ratio. Yeah, as I've started to breed, I've wanted to bring some more pattern in. So yeah, I do like it. The lower white side. The higher white has a purpose. But one thing that the one gripe I have with this hobby is I hate when I hatch a snake and I can't ID it. I know it's just an ID at the end of the day, right? And you can just put black pastel POS 6 different genes, but it just like I hate looking at a snake and going, I don't know what you are. So when I'm working on high white stuff and you hatch out a special pied that's got possible X, Y, Z, and G, I just go, oh, I can't be arsed with it. Like, just take the special out, and that's a mint looking animal, and I can work out what it all is. So yeah, from that perspective, low white, but I'd be lying if I started with that 50-50 ratio.
Yeah. Okay, fair. Well, I mean, what you just said is the reason why a lot of people moved away from pied, because pied was king for years and years and years. And then once you started stacking on the genes and the combos and stuff, then like you're saying, it just got too hard to ID. You were doing all this work for, a white snake with a bit of pattern on the head or whatever, or the neck. And then, people just started to move away from it. So
you learn what works and what doesn't, Roger.
Exactly.
And someone's just put in the chat, pied with a white head is cool. I've in my 6 years breeding, I've never hit one of those. I actually, fun story, in the third clutch of this year, I did GHI mahogany pied to a black pastel mahogany yellow belly het pied, trying to get the black and white snake again. And I was like a giddy 5-year-old because I looked in that incubator and there was a snake looking back at me with a completely white head and black eyes. And I was like, I've done it. I didn't mean to, but I hit a pied with a white head for the first time. I was running around the room like a little 5-year-old, and then I cut the egg and it's just a completely jet white snake. And I'm like, why? I don't even understand what genes are going on to cause that, but you got me excited because I thought there was nothing else that could happen. So you're right, and I'm still on the. I mean, you can't do it by genetics, but I am on a mission to try and hit a pied with a white head, and that will stay. Same as wanting to hit a black and white snake. I don't want to breed it. I just want a black and white snake.
Just to have, yeah, exactly. Very good. What does a typical week look like in your place, your facility? Like how do you ensure that all your animals are getting the attention that they need?
Yeah, no, so I get that question quite a lot, especially from work colleagues. I was jumping for 30 seconds until I cut the egg. Then I was jumping for different reasons, trying to work out what was going on. I get that question quite a bit. I mean, look, royals, snakes in general are fairly low maintenance. That's why they're such a good pet in some ways. So my week usually looks like I'm going to start on Saturday rather than Monday, just to throw a spanner in the works, because Saturday is what I call my snake day. So I'll usually spend sort of 3 hours in here, doing a little bit of a deeper clean, changing every water bowl, changing substrates when I need to, etc., etc. And then Sunday will be when I feed. So I'll feed everything on Sunday. Again, that's probably 2 or 3 hours, maybe a little bit more if I've got to assist feed anything. And then realistically, I'll check the snakes every single day at some point throughout the day, especially during breeding season, of course, for any signs of ovulation, etc. But I'd say I'd probably then clean an extra 2 times a week, maybe for 30 to 45 minutes in the morning. And that's it. So it's kind of split up into 4 days. You've got the weekend and then sort of 2 30 to 45 minute cleaner sessions a week. and that's it. There's not a huge amount involved. And
Yeah.
you know, I've got a collection of probably about 70 snakes, and if you can do something that you're passionate about, and it's only going to take, you know, 2 hours of your work week out, it's a no-brainer. Like, I love it.
Yeah, precisely. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you've already touched on you've got 70 snakes. So I'm guessing
Somewhere
is
around
this
there. Don't quote me on that.
yeah, I mean it's never exact number, but I mean I know my exact number. I've got precisely 26 snakes right now.
And you say you've got 26 to your workmate, and they'll go, "That's a lot of snakes." Because I get it the same. I've got 70 snakes, and they like have this panic attack. Like, how can you have 70 snakes? And you go, "Well, I know someone down the road that's got about 4,000, but we won't go there." Like,
there's no point. But yeah, I mean, it's funny though. I started a new job a couple of weeks ago, and only now, you know, you're sort of as you get talking to your colleagues, you know, stuff starts coming out. I was telling them earlier this week, that I breed snakes, and all of them were like, everyone gathered around like the table at the kitchen, and they were like, "What do you mean you breed snakes? Like, what the hell?" And I was like showing them my Instagram and showing and they're like, "What about the kids?" And I have a good video of my kid. Like, I'm cleaning, and he's got this big clown female that I have. And he's like, he picks her up. He's trying to uncoil her and put her on his neck. And I'm showing this video, and they're like, "What the heck?"
It's great.
Yeah, it's always good. Yeah, it's always good.
I love it. I mean, if you work in an office-based job like mine, it's the best icebreaker and the worst icebreaker, because it certainly gets people talking. But I'll never forget when I had like a first customer meeting once, and we did icebreakers, and I did snakes, you know, thinking, "Oh, that's a quick intro." And the 30-minute meeting got completely sidetracked talking about snakes. And we got to the end of the meeting and realized that we hadn't done any work whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But also, so, I mean, do you have the room you're in? Is it like a separate facility? Is it in your house? Is it outside? What's your situation?
No, so this is a 3-bedroom house, two are bedrooms, and then this was a bedroom that I converted into just a breeding room. So there's nothing in the way of underfloor heating or anything. It's purely racks, and then I've got an AC in for the temperature in the summer. Sorry, to be honest, in the winter the ambient temperature stays there or thereabouts with everything on anyway. So it's worked out fairly nicely. It's tight, don't get me wrong, but it does the job. And I can house, I think I looked the other day, I can probably house up to about 400 animals in here if I was to have a really busy season. But I'm never going to get there. It's just I like to have the space in case I ever need it. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, so you already have an idea of how big you want to get, and
this is as big as I'll ever get, Roger. Yeah, I've got space. I've got space for 30. I've got 30 FB40 tubs, which can take females up to probably 1,600 grams, and I've got 20 of the 70s. So I've got enough space for probably 40 females. Because I have to alternate, you know, and what sub size they're in. So probably enough space for 40. I've never breed more than 20 a year. Even when I was at, you know, prime sort of breeding back when it was busy, I was doing 20 and maybe getting 15 clutches a year maximum. And I wouldn't want to do any more than that, because to the point about the time earlier, the minute it becomes uncontrollable or you don't have the time to give these animals what they need, is the time to go, nope, this is too much cutback or something. And I've never reached
being enjoyable. Yeah, when it starts becoming a job and you know, more of a duty and a responsibility, it stops being fun. The way I see it, anyway. You know, while you're still managing, I mean, you know, of course, there's days where I don't feel like doing a deep clean or whatever, but most of the times I enjoy it. You know, I'm coming in here, doing a deep clean, and picking up snakes and looking at them, watching them grow, and you know, I'm cleaning a tub with one snake around my neck, or maybe I have one loose in the room, because I have a couple of ones like that that I'm comfortable enough letting them, you know, be free a little bit, obviously under supervision, but you know, it's all good. But yeah, let's see, what's one thing in your, I'm gonna call it facility, you know, even though it's a room like most of us, but let's just call it facility for good time's sake. What's one thing in your facility that you can't live without?
Right, people might laugh at this one because I'm breeding royal pythons, but I'm going to say a snake hook. I'm going to say a snake hook, right? And the reason I'm going to say a snake hook is for Sunday when I'm feeding, because the tubs are dark. And the minute that I heat the rodent's head up with a kettle to get that heat pit working on the royal. The minute that I put that kettle on and the room heats up and the scent gets around the room, mate, those things are at the front of the tub. And the minute that I open the tub, like if I'm in the way, they're having me. So the one thing that I can't live without would be that snake hook, mate, because that has saved me many a feeding bite. I guarantee you. I don't know I'm breeding royals, but you need it.
I know. A while ago, I almost got tagged by one of my males. He hadn't been eaten for ages, breeding season and whatever. I used the hair dryer method to spread the smell around. And I opened the tub and I was like, he's probably gonna be in his tub. He's not gonna want anything to do with the rat, whatever. And I opened the tub like this, as you do, and he comes out flying. And I actually felt him like touch. He didn't bite, but I felt the touch on the palm of my hand, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like that was a close one. Yeah, you fucker. It's like, yeah, I'm not trusting that ever again. So yeah, snake hook just to open tubs, perfect. Yeah. I know. Actually, and this is one I heard. When was the guy from Slovakia here? It was last week. I think he mentioned the snake hook as well. So yeah, I don't think it's one to laugh at. I
think they're absolutely did. I mean, yeah, I've been bit in the face twice, and I can tell you it's not fun.
I saw that. I saw that video because you have a camera up in your room, right?
Yeah, I've got it up in the back there. The first time I didn't capture it because this was a while ago before I got a camera, and then the second one, she got me at about 7:30 in the morning once, and I did put that video out. But the one thing when people say the snake bites hurt, the one that bit me in the face the first time is always the way I can tell no, because I didn't know I got bit in the face. So I opened up a male tub. He was probably about 600 grams, and he got me straight in the lip here. And if you pierce the lip, it bleeds quite a bit. And I was just like, oh, what was that? And I just carried on as normal. And then it was when my brother was still living here, and he kind of opened the door and he went, "What have you done to your face?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, like, you're bleeding everywhere. And it was only then that I realized I'd been bit in the face. And that's how I always say, like, does a snake bite hurt? No. If you can get bit in the face by a 700 gram male and not know it doesn't hurt. Don't get me wrong, I'm a baby. I'll pick hatchlings up with a hook still because I don't want to get bitten. It's not to hurt. It's just who wants to get bitten. It's a natural instinct to just go, nope, don't want to deal with that.
Yeah. I still haven't got bitten by an adult snake. I got bit by a couple hatchlings. One of them was actually deliberate because I think I had my phone out and I was fixing like his tub or whatever, and he launched at me, and I was like, "Oh, that was a close one." And then because I had my phone in my hand, I was like, "You know what? This would be a cool video." So I just went like that. You can actually see the video because I actually go like this, and I leave my hand for him to get to it. And I was like, "Oh, okay." So that happened. But you learn to read your snake's body language. So I have one that I fully don't trust. And even if I'm doing something in there, like I always like put something over her head first. But most of my snakes, like I'm confident enough that I can open it up and just put my hand in there, and it'll be fine. I mean, I have a female that's I'm trying maternal incubation for the first time this year, and I literally go and pet her every day. Like I'll open the thing, I'll reach out, she'll stare at me for a bit. And then I'll reach out my hand slowly. I'll pet her. I'll remove substrate from around her and stuff like that. Push substrate up. And
that is interesting. I thought she'd be very defensive because
that's what I thought. Because initially I was like, I was actually using a snake hook to like push the substrate up against her and stuff like that. Yeah. And then it got to the stage where she was like, she wasn't reacting. And I was like, let me try it and see what happens. And she's absolutely fine. Like I lift her up to look at the eggs because some of the substrate, because it's wet, got in there. and like when you lift her up, you can see the stain from from the substrate there. But I mean, the eggs still look okay, so we're gonna see what happens.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's one thing I've never done, maternal incubation, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Roger. Like, I think it's an interesting concept, but I don't know. When I've got the ability to control it and put them in the incubator, I just don't see the need. But I just see it as an added complexity, to be honest. But yeah, I think it's an interesting concept. But what day are you on with them? How far through are you?
Good question. We're about half. I can't see from here, but we're about halfway there.
Yeah.
So I think she laid.
It'd be a much better. I imagine the feeling that you'll get when you open the tub one day and see that they're hatching will probably be better than any feeling you'll get looking in an incubator. I'll give you that.
Absolutely, yeah. And I've seen like Matt was in the chat earlier from Exotic Pet Planet. And he hatched a maternal incubation. Well, not he hatched, but his snake. He did a maternal incubation recently, and it was a good clutch. Don't get me wrong, mine is nothing absolutely special. She's a double head hypo ultra male, and she's paired to an ultra male fire hypo double head ultra male pie. So it's not like my season is depending on those eggs, but it's obviously still nice to have them. So I don't know. I just had the feel because I always wanted to do it since I started breeding. Like originally, my plan was to not get an incubator. Like when I decided I'm gonna become a breeder, Pappy's premium pythons, breeding snakes, blah blah blah. Everything's gonna be maternal incubation. I'm gonna do it right. It's gonna be premium. And then, very quickly, I was like, as soon as the first eggs landed, I was like, nope, incubator, boom. I'm not going to risk it. But, this year I thought, you know what? Why not?
Yeah.
It's nature. At the end of the day, it's nature. As long as you control the environment, obviously heat and humidity, the snakes are hated regardless. The temperature's up there and it's constant. And I mean, as long as I keep spraying, the substrate, keep the humidity up, it should be fine in theory. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, what's the last show you attended?
Now this is interesting. So the show scene in the UK is limited now down to just the one, which is the IHS show, which I think you know about. I haven't been going to them, and this is a controversial point for me. That I'm not allowed to exhibit at shows is the short of it, Roger. And that's not because I'm banned in any way, shape, or form. The reason that I can't exhibit is because I have a license. And from my understanding, the moment that you get a license, those that plan the event are then subject to tax, VAT, blah blah blah. I don't know the logics of it, but the minute you get a license, you can't attend an exhibit. And without exhibiting, I'll be honest, there's not a great deal of purpose going because it's in Blackpool, which is a 4.5-hour trip from my house. So it's a 9-hour round trip for maybe a 5-hour show to talk to people that I can talk to on social media. So the last show I went to, ironically, was Houghton, which was an experience for nothing more than the Venom Room. Which I absolutely loved and probably spent most of the day in the hot room, I think they call it, don't they? Now that was an experience. So bit of a dull answer, I'm afraid, but it also gives you a little bit of insight into the UK. There isn't really a show scene here, which is a shame.
So I mean, I live in Portugal. We got nothing. So
true.
True. I know that feeling quite too well. But I mean, do you normally go to shows though? Or was that like a one-off thing for you?
No, I mean, to be fair, I don't know what the situation is with Ham in terms of whether that's continuing or not. And Houghton's a good show. I'll probably go out to Houghton again this year in September. I've got mates over. Yeah. I don't think I've said that to anyone. I'll probably be going over to Houghton this year. And then
I'm finally and confirmed I got my flights. Actually, I'm going to Belgium. I'm gonna hang out with my friends in Belgium, and then we're gonna go to Houten. And we've already got a WhatsApp group where we're planning a whole dinner get together kind of thing the night before. So yeah, there's a couple guys coming from Sweden as well. The Sanke brothers. Those are really cool guys. They were on the show as well. I mean, yeah, the kind of people that you just, I don't know. For me, it was anyway. We just clicked straight away. So
yeah,
it's gonna be cool. Yeah.
No, I like it. I like it. I'll probably fly into Bremen, do a couple of days down in Amsterdam or whatever. I don't know, make a trip of it. But yeah, I think I'll be over for that in September anyway.
Awesome. Yeah, that'll be cool. But yeah, sorry, I just totally went off there because I'm really excited. I'm really excited. Last time I went to a show was Ham, and it was 2024 December.
Yeah.
So so I had a full year last year with absolutely no show. I mean, it's been a year and a half since I've been at the show, and it's gonna be more by the time September comes around. But it was really cool experience. I went with Ricardo actually. Yeah, so it was a cool experience. I had never been to a show like that, obviously, and I couldn't wait to get out again. It had to be a different one, obviously, because I know I know Ham, been there, done that. So I want to go to a different one. With the whole podcast and everything, it worked out that I get to go to Belgium, meet some people, see some collections, and then go to Houten. So hopefully I'll be able to do the same thing for Verona sometime, because I've had a couple of Italian guests on the show and they talk it up so much. And I mean, as soon as they mentioned food, I was sold. So,
mate, I'm the exact same. I'm not even a pizza. Well, I am a pizza man, but anything with pasta and I'm sold. So if you ever do a Verona trip, send me a message, and I might tag along on that one. I'd love to get out to the Verona show.
Yeah, that would be very cool. Very cool. Especially, I mean, now that, obviously I went to the Ham show with two buddies, and, I got there, I met a couple people that Ricardo knows, Peter and, Martin and those guys and Chris. But I didn't actually know any, I could recognize a couple logos and a couple banners, but I didn't get out talking and socializing a lot. And fair enough, we're in this because we love snakes and reptiles and stuff. But, if it's not for the people, I mean, it's not the same thing. You can sit and stare at snakes all day, but it's all about, for me at least anyway, it's all about community and making friends and getting to know people. And you should know, because, I mean, how many times have you been to Portugal since becoming friends with Ricardo,
5 years. 5 years, yeah. I've been every. It's a perfect example, to be fair. Like Peter from Holland, me in England, and Ricardo in Portugal. The one thing I would say on the community, and I don't know if this is different in the UK, is the community element has disappeared a little bit, and I think it's a combination of the shows disappearing. So we used to have 3: IHS, ARC, and SWC. We're now down to 1, so that limits how frequently you can get together. But also, like, one of the things with COVID is, obviously COVID boomed in terms of sales. The other thing that COVID was really good for was like live streams on Instagram. Like, if every single day there'd be a different person doing a live stream. Like, I used to do one every single Friday night during COVID, but there would be one every single night of the week, and you would have 50 plus people every night. And the community element seems to have gone out of it a little bit. And I think if someone could unlock that and get it really back to the way it was, I think that it would start to boom again, because I think a lot of people have seen their mates leave and they're not necessarily making the effort to connect with new people. So it's an interesting a dynamic change in the last couple of years.
I mean, take it up upon yourself. Someone has to start something. I mean, I was all about podcasts. I still am all about podcasts and watching and learning and stuff. And I saw a gap where there was nothing in Europe, for people. So I took it upon myself to start it, and it's going good so far. Week 28. And yeah, we've got guests booked till I mean at least week 31. So I mean, there's no shortage of people looking to come on the show and stuff. So yeah, it's going good. Oh man, here we go again. Yeah, it definitely. Do you know what? I'm just gonna swap it to. Oh, see, wait for the camera to cool.
Too hot, mate.
Whatever. Shut up.
There you go.
Backup. This backup never fails. The cheap stuff never fails. I think I paid like 50 quid for this on Amazon.
Yep.
And it was the whole. This is the camera I use when I'm riding the motorbike. You know, I have the whole gadget stuff, and I stick it on to like a dash cam. You know.
Yep.
But anyway, what time are we at? Holy crap! It's already been 40 minutes. Hang on. Let me do a quick sponsor break. So if you want to grab a water or something.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, wait. How do I do this now? Here we go. Guys, check out ProHerper.com. You already know, all the morph tests and the prices. So there's no point on repeating all that. New news. Well, not so new because I told you guys about it last week. We've got panel testing now for Dinker panel tests. So basically, it'll test against all the available morphs to see if your Dinker a known morph already, or if it's a Lily with anything that's out there as well. ProHerper has also introduced the full panel test, obviously, for normal morphs and for not lavender, for recessive stuff as well. So you can have basically a recessive panel where it tests for all the recessive stuff only, and it's a little bit cheaper. All the prices are on screen there. You guys can check it out. New stuff as well. I haven't updated my slideshow, but there is now Green 3 Python sex determination tests available in Europe. So if you guys have Green 3 Pythons, check it out. There's no need to grow up snakes anymore to see what you have. You can just send your sheds in for testing, and ProHerper will tell you if you're holding back a male or a female. So great stuff. I mean, I saw this news in the States from, I think it was Phenom, and now it's made its way over to Europe, and it's amazing. I don't have any green trees yet, but I hope to get them in the future. But guys, order your tests at ProHerper.com. It's a company trusted by more than 1,000 breeders all over the world. And as you know, any shed that arrives by Wednesday will receive the results by Friday that same week. And it's all good. ProHerper.com, guys. Pappy's Premium Pod is sponsored by ProHerper, and we appreciate them backing the pod. So, back to it. And let me just get situated here. Oh, I forgot my banner. No. Anyway, let's see. You've already touched on that. Okay, so looking back at your growth since, in around 2019 or so, what's been the biggest lesson that has changed the way you approach your breeding room?
Oh, biggest one that's changed the breeding room. It's really simple. It's the air conditioning unit. And it's simple because the year, so what would it have been? So the last 2 years I've definitely had it. I think the last 3 years I had the AC unit. So that takes us back to 2022 it must have been, where I noticed a large percentage of slugs, but not just slugs, but also eggs going bad during incubation. And the only thing that I could think it was when we had a really fairly hot summer. I mean, looking back now, based on having 30 degrees every day for the last 3 weeks, it was nothing. But we were looking at sort of 25, 27 every single day. And I put it down to just being too hot on the ambient side, and the female not being able to cool properly her follicles, and therefore the sperm not necessarily getting in, or I don't know the biology behind it. But the minute I then got an AC unit in, that slug rate dropped, the sort of eggs going bad during incubation dropped, and I totally believe that it is down to putting an AC unit in and getting the ambient temperature just right. And I think it's just as important as having the hotspot in the tub right, actually, for breeding.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes sense, I guess. So, okay, cool. Yeah. So, what is it about Pied that has kept you focused for all these years?
What is it about Pied? For me, it's the starting point. I go back to that. It's the starting point. I think one thing I do need to do at some point is take a survey of as many people as I can in the snake industry, and not even just ball pythons, because I guarantee this will go further than ball pythons, but take a poll and ask every single one of them, what was the first snake you saw that got you into snakes? And I think it would be a ridiculous number of people that come out and say a pied royal python. I think you're talking probably 80% plus, if I'm being totally honest. And for me, that's why I stick with pied, because whether I'm producing a 5 or 6 gene pied or a triple recessive pied, or I'm producing a single gene pied, everything looks fantastic. Like, and that's the way. And that's I work the same with a few of the genes that I'm working with. Calico is one of my favorite genes, because even if I'm not making the visual, you make amazing hets along the way. And so that's kind of the same principle with pied. If I'm not making the Desert Ghost Clown pied, I'm only making a pied double head. You go, oh, it's only a pied. Yeah. It still looks fantastic. And I go back to the fact that a high percentage of people will have seen a pied and gone, I like that. I want one of them. So for me, it's I won't step away from what got me into it. I'll stay true to it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it wasn't for me, obviously.
You're in that 20%, Roger.
Yeah, I'm in that 20%. You know, actually, the thing that got me into snakes, I think, if you look back, it would have been an albino Burmese python. I remember seeing those things and as a kid, and I'd be like, I want one of those. I remember like going into pet shops. There was always a Burmese python in a pet shop, and even when I moved to the UK, when I lived in Northern Ireland, there's a pet shop close by, and they had a big, massive Burmese python in this huge cage, and they would feed it every Saturday at like, I don't know, 3 or 5 p.m. or whatever. You got to go and watch her feed, and it was like, this is unreal. Yeah. But I guess when it came to ball pythons, funny enough, it was a normal.
Wow.
Funny enough, the normal was the first thing I saw. And I remember seeing a guy with a snake at the Renaissance Festival. And I went up to him after I finished what I was doing. And I was like, what is this? Where did you get it? How did you get it? And he's like, yeah, I just went to the shop and got it. And I was like, whoa, wait, hold on a second. You can go to a shop, snake? It was like, for me, it was like a dream that it just couldn't come true, right? So like, I never actually set that process that I could actually just go and buy one. So then I started talking to him, and he's like, yeah, just go here, just go there, and it's called this. And that's where I went from. It's like ball python. So I came home, started doing research, and then I just went crazy. But my first snake was an all-white snake.
Yeah.
But black-eyed leucistic, yeah, that was the thing for me. And that when I decided, I was like, I'm gonna breed all white snakes. That's all I want to do. And yeah, I haven't made a single one.
I have. Didn't want to, but I have.
Yeah, you by accident. Yeah. But anyway, so is there a specific project, obviously in Pied, that you're pouring most of your time and energy into? Like, what's the next big goal for you?
Okay, there's 3 genes for me that are a little bit more out there that I'm working on. One of them I'm keeping close to my chest, and I haven't posted anything about it, and I'll keep it that way. The second one is Calico. So I briefly touched on it a moment ago. Calico is just fantastic. I love it in Pied. I don't think anyone has really tapped into it still, even after all these years. And the third one is just coming to light. It's Hurricane. A lot of people have been seeing the Hurricanes lately. The Hurricane clown pies that Ozzy's been making have been absolutely fantastic. Me and Ozzy were talking about Hurricane and Pied probably 3 or 4 years ago when he came to the UK, and he's now bringing it to life. But yeah, I think that those two are the most slept on codoms, and then there is recessives as well. Like I say, I'm working on one of them. But yeah, there's still so much to do with Pied, and this is what excites me. And I think once Pied comes back into the fruition, you'll start to see some really cool combos coming out again. Things like Wookiee. Where's a Wookiee? Has anyone seen a Wookiee Pied? I don't think so. There's still so much to do.
Yeah. So, how about this question here? Since you love fights, what do you think of the controversy around Scrambler?
I don't honestly know what the controversy is. Sorry to be a complete spoil sport. Dinkers aren't my thing. So interesting. When you was doing your sponsored ad break there, I heard and saw you say about the new Dinker test. Fantastic, yeah. Right? Going back to what I said earlier, I don't like producing snakes that I don't know what they are. They don't work for me. So the fact that there's a Dinker test now is fantastic. And I don't know what this controversy is that you mentioned, but I'd be going, right, well, let's get Scrambler Dinker tested because that's a thing now. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna burst the bubble, but I can't really talk on something that I just don't know about. What I have seen of Scrambler, maybe this is going to be controversial, but what I have seen of Scrambler just looks like a really nice Orange Dream Calico. Now, it's not to say it isn't anything, and if that is what a Scrambler does, but it does it in one gene instead of having to get two into a combo, then it's worth its weight in gold. But that's my observation of it. But without knowing any more than that, I can't really comment on it.
I watched when Austin from Hatch Reptiles, when he was on the Trap Talk thing, he was showing off some Scrambler pies, and he was comparing them to OD pies, and you could see the difference. Absolutely. Okay. And for those guys in the state, or not the States, but those guys in Canada that are working a lot with Scrambler, like the real stuff, I mean, I believe there's also a lot of people out there just milking it, saying that they have Scrambler when they don't. But for those guys that are working, with the real stuff from the source, for them, it's not a question of is it a real thing or not. For them, it's the real deal. And the way they talk about it, it's not just one. You could argue Marcus Chain, if he's talking up his project, but you've got guys like Antoine from DPR, you've got guys from like Austin from Hatch Reptiles, and they're working those projects, and they're like, this is it. But yeah, funny. I'm glad someone mentioned the Scrambler Pied stuff because I've seen it. And it's a low white pied, very very low pied. So
yeah, I've seen a little bit of it, but not a huge amount. Look, if I was going to give a shout out to a new gene, and I was going to boost anything, have you / has the chat / this is me just saying go and look at it, heard of and seen the tornado stuff that D and Joe Pythons are doing here in the UK that Justin's obviously brought into? I'm not a Dinker fan. I inquired about the tornado because that is something.
Oh, because you could see it miles away. It's okay. Is it a Dinker if it has a name? I don't think so. But anyway, it's been proven and named. So I mean, it's not really a Dinker anymore. But it's a new gene. Yeah, I love the granite stuff. The tornado stuff. It's there. It's it. I don't think there's a question about it. And yeah, that's why you've got people, like the guys in the UK and Gavin and stuff. I keep forgetting his name, and Melissa. Anyway, they're obviously investing into it, and I just wish I could invest into it as well. It's really good.
I tried, but understandably, some of the prices that Darren was quoting were way above my my pay grade. And
absolutely.
Justin obviously came in for it. If I was in Justin's position, I would as well, because it's. I think next year will be the year of Tornado. I think he's had it for what, 2 or 3 years now. We all know how the breeding cycle works. I fully expect to see some just ridiculous animals coming out with that project next year.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other new gene that you could like shout out and or mention. You spoke about Ozzy a while ago. Have you seen the stuff that he came out with, the Bronzino?
I haven't. No.
Oh, no. Okay. Because I mean, he proved it out. He's named it. It's a new gene that he found. He named it Bronzino. But all I've seen is.
Yeah. No, I did. I saw he put a post out the other day saying he'd been working on it for a couple of years and he's willing to share it now. And yes, I did see that. Changing the head color and stuff. I'll be honest, it was while I was in Portugal. I was probably about 10 super boxes deep. It probably went, oh, that looks cool. I'll have a look at that another day. And I never got around to it. So yes, I did briefly see it, but not looked into it properly yet.
But like I said, it's deep in the combo. So it's hard to see what it is actually doing. But that's the thing I don't like about new genes. When it's hard to see what it's actually doing. If you've got a gene like what's it called? Bambino, for example, there's a new one that you could definitely see it's something. Or Malice or Cosmos White Flame. But you can see these genes are something. You can see it. You don't have to guess whether it's something, whether they're all the same or not. That's a whole different topic. But you hatch a Bambino snake. You've got something that's new and different. Do you know what I mean? But anyway,
or you just spray paint it red like the Red Bull. I don't know if you was around when the Red Bull was a thing, Roger. It was probably when I first started, but that was the biggest controversy of the Royal Python game.
Was it not? They were putting iodine into the eggs or something, injecting iodine into
I can't remember if it was spraying it or whether. I don't know how they done it, but yeah, they basically turned the snake red and then it's genetic and charged people a whole load of money. It's just oh my god.
How was that not in the UK? Was that not in the UK?
It was. Okay. Yeah. It was in the UK by a Polish guy.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah. That guy's laughing. That guy is laughing.
That guy's laughing. But yeah, I remember going to it was my first ever IHS show after moving into the breeding world, and it was just like the talk of the town. I was like, red snake, what's going on here? Like completely oblivious. And now I look back and go, what a mess.
Yeah, but
there you go. Yeah, watercolor to paint the snakes red. I mean, yeah.
Do you have a morph that you once loved that you no longer work with?
I do. Banana.
Okay.
Banana.
Is that banana pie?
No, there's a couple of reasons for it. The main one was the sex ratio stuff. If I'm being entirely honest. Yeah, that was the biggest kind of reason I got away from it. And also that there was only so far you could take it. And that's it's not one that I've worked with, but if you're asking me for genes I'm not working with, albino, which ironic because if you go on my Instagram, the last photos you will see from me are albinos. I have just hatched them. Please don't ask me how. All I'm going to say is a simple plug. Go and watch. I'm going to put a YouTube video out in a few weeks' time for the egg cut, and it'll be the prime of my channel because there is a moment where I think I just cut the cameras. I think I ended the video with what the fuck's happened and just cut the cameras. I have no idea.
Give up. I give up. Fuck this.
and so banana for me is similar to albino in the way that there's so far you can take it and hide. and so it's limited. Like I'll be honest, like so for example, I've got, and this is the albino that I've just hatched. So this is not a standard albino pied. You know, I can, like, you can see the color is different, the pattern is different, but because it's albino, I'm finding it really hard to ID. And I suppose what I'm trying to say is, for me, albino and banana just kind of mash into like the same kind of pattern in whatever you do with it. So yeah, not a huge fan of albino and banana.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, someone said dark matter will bring albino back.
I don't know if it'll bring it
Awesome.
back. It's just it's its own separate entire thing, isn't it? To be honest.
The dark matter, head dark matter and head albino makes dark nova.
Sun, I think it is,
or dark sun. Yeah,
I think that's right.
Jacek was here and he explained the whole thing, but I can't remember exactly what it was. But
it's a bit like cryptic stuff in the way that it works.
Yeah,
yeah. Look,
there's
some good animals there. There's some good animals coming out.
Yeah, cool. So let's see. What's currently on your wish list?
What's currently on my wish list? Oh, that's a good question. I've not thought about buying a snake for a while. If I was going to buy anything, what would I? Come back to me on that in like 5 minutes. Let me have a think about some genes that I'm not working on. Because I think for me, it wouldn't be, like, I wouldn't say to you it's going to be a 7-gene Desert Ghost DG het pied, right? I think it would be something different. Something like, I got into Wookiee because nobody's really doing Wookiee pieds. Oh, all right. This is why I said give me a minute. Lace. Lace is what I would like.
Okay.
If you look at especially the lace in clown pied, how it cleans everything up,
yes.
That's your answer. If I could have anything right now, Roger, it would be lace.
Lace, yeah, lace and pied is really cool. Yeah, the stuff that I've seen from Justin and what's his name, Billy, I think, from Rice Reptiles. Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah. Fair. That's a good one. Let's see. What is currently your gold snake?
My gold snake. It's really simple. And I have been trying to hit one for a few years. Calico clown pied. I don't need any other genes in there. I just want to see what a calico clown pied looks like. And I've tried it for a few times and I've missed it, and that's what I would like to do. Other than that, it's working calico and hurricane into as much as possible. I mean, if I was going to be like out there, you know, give me a calico hurricane Desert Ghost clown pied. But that's not next year's wish, Roger. Like, that's 5-10 years down the line. So the realistic one that I can do is I want a calico clown pied just to see what it looks like, and it's what I've got envisioned in my head how the animal is going to come out, basically.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I've ever seen a calico clown pied, to be honest.
I don't think I've seen calico pieds. Well, a lot of calico pied stuff.
Yeah.
I remember when Ricardo was on the show and he nominated you, and I think he mentioned that he did calico pied.
Yep.
Mentioned it on the chat, and I had to go on your Instagram to look for stuff like that because I don't think I had ever seen it. But again, it's not something I'm looking for because I don't work with pieds. So shame.
And that's your For You page, isn't it? But yeah, for me, still remains the most slept on gene in pied, and that's all I'll leave it as.
Yeah.
There you go.
What's your opinion on sugar again?
Sugar and calico, same thing, isn't it? I love it. I absolutely love it. I think, for me, the best thing about calico, go and have a look at my page. And what I would say is don't even look at the pied stuff. Have a look at some of the calico het pied stuff that I've hatched out. It's phenomenal. My most viral clip ever was a calico double het clown pied. You can see it on my profile. It's the two males that came out exactly the same combo, and they were just the most vibrant little fire orange balls you've ever seen in your life. And I've hatched out so many, hets. In fact, let me grab one without trying to get bitten, and just to illustrate the point.
Yeah, no, for sure. Snake, snake, snake. I mean, this is slowly transitioning into a snake showing podcast, because I think for the last couple of weeks we've always had a snake shown. Look at that.
I mean,
is that just calico or is that OD calico?
No, so I mean, there's a few genes in there, and it's not really coming through the color, but it just shows you like, it's just a het, but you get to make amazing things along the way. So yeah, for me,
I love calico. I have one though. I want to get more. I have one OD calico female, and I'm hoping to make some head ultra male stuff with her this year, and yeah, see what I can play about with. Oh, actually, no. What am I talking about? She's already dropped eggs. She laid 3 good eggs and three slugs. It was it was my surprise clutch for the season, because I wasn't expecting her to lay anymore. I had given up hope. I kept pairing her. I could never see a lock, and she went off food, and then started eating again. I never saw an ovulation, so I gave up. I stopped pairing her. One day she shed, and I was just okay. So she shed. So didn't think nothing of it, because I hadn't seen an ovulation. She was back on food, and yeah, one day I came in snake room, as you do. Funny smell. Started looking for poops. I opened her tub, and there she was, coiled over 3 good eggs and 3 slugs. I was like, wait, what the? So yeah,
I've only had that once. I've had that once before. Yeah. When you open up the tub and you you do the whole double take thing, you go, I did not just see that. Close the tub, and then you go, yeah, I did see that.
I actually think I did that. I think I opened the tub. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. I've definitely done it. I've done it a few times. One of my favorite snake memories was last year. Actually, I stopped pairing altogether last year in around November. So I did 1 month of breeding, and that was it, because circumstances, I didn't think I was going to be able to have a season or whatever. They actually worked out, so I kept breeding anyway. But at the time, I hadn't bred anything, and it was about January. I hadn't bred anything for 3 months, and I opened up one female's tub, and she was ovulating. I was like, oh, okay. I kind of knew that was coming. Fair enough. But what shocked me, and I did the proper double take moment, and I was just like, holy shit, was that I opened up the next tub I think it was the next day, and it was her sister. And that's what makes it crazy, is that it was her biological sister, clutchmate. And I opened up the tub, and sure as shit, she was ovulated as well. And I was just like, what are the odds on 2 females that I've not bred for like 4 months? They're sisters, and they're both gone. That was probably the most what the hell is going on moment I've ever had breeding snakes.
Oh man, that's awesome. It's a great feeling though.
Oh yeah,
great feeling. Okay, so
you don't get surprised very often in this game anymore. So when you do get a surprise, it is nice.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm due a couple surprises. There was a couple females I paired to 2 different males. So yeah, it's gonna be exciting. The egg cuttings are gonna be like, who got it? Who got it? Was it this guy? Was it that guy? So I mean, I guess you can classify that as a surprise. But yeah, what keeps you motivating during the long late nights in the off-peak season?
Yeah, I mean, it's just your Sundays when you're feeding, isn't it, to be fair? I don't struggle to find the motivation. I love coming in here, sticking some music on and feeding some snakes. My brain is very statistical in the way that it works. So I just see it as a complete game. So I'll go, right, I'm feeding 50 snakes tonight. How many are we going to get that feed? And if they don't feed immediately, how many strikes does it take? And I'm very statistical like that. So I just turn it all into a game, mate. So I don't need any additional motivation. I suppose the more the motivation question is not surround the long nights. The more the motivation question is, how do you motivate yourself to keep going when the market is as slow as it is? Because I think that's why we've seen so many people leave, is because they haven't got that motivation. And it's the same answer that I give everyone. If you want to breed snakes for the right reasons, why does it matter if the market is slow? you should be producing things because you want to produce it, and you want to keep it for yourself. And at the end of the day, you only ever need to find a buyer for a snake. You don't need to buy 10. People don't need to buy 10 every time or whatever. So yeah, if you're passionate about what we're doing, then you don't need to motivate yourself. Is where I'm at with it.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you absolutely. And another thing you touched on is you should be breeding for yourself. Obviously, be your own best customer. And not only that, if you're breeding, you should be prepared to keep everything that you produce if it doesn't sell. Because, yeah, it's all good breeding and hatching, 70 snakes in a season or whatever. But what happens if they don't sell? Do you have 70 tubs to keep them? Can you afford, 70 rats a week to feed them? And if the answer is no, then you shouldn't be breeding and making 70 babies. You know what I mean?
100%, 100%. And you have to remember that whatever you get is more than you had before. Again, I don't think people, are breeding necessarily for money that are stealing it at the moment, because there's no money in it. But like, look, being totally transparent in terms of finances for me, in 2022 and 2023, both years I made 5 figures from selling snakes. All declared, just for the record. Nothing's under wraps. And yeah, I made a nice profit over those 2 years. I mean, it's a loss based on from where I started, but in those years I made a nice win. This last year, no, I didn't. I only made sort of, I think, 3,000, something like that, because it was slow, and I ended up moving all of my stock to a pet shop, because unfortunately my grandmother passed away, and I didn't want to have to try and sell them, so I just let someone take them for a very low price. But what you have to tell yourself is, A, does it cover the costs? Yes, it covered the rodent costs, it covered the electric costs last year. I didn't really make any money, but also I started the year with nothing, and I ended the year with £3,000 in sales. And people that are in it for the money will go, oh, but it's net, you've not earned nothing. And it's like, well, no, I haven't, but I've had the fun of cutting those eggs. I've had the fun of bringing those snakes into the world, getting them going, and the things that I actually enjoy about the snakes. So I suppose the message is, don't get bogged down in the money side of it. This is never going to be a lucrative game. And, you ask at the start, am I a veteran or am I a noob? I don't know. That's up for people to decide. But after 7 years in this, I can tell you you're not going to get rich in it. And it's the old classic, you're not going to get rich quick. But 7 years deep, I can tell you that. It's just, it doesn't happen. But if you want to breed snakes for the right reasons, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the way it should be for everyone. Yeah. So sorry, just before we move, a quick question here. Do you feed live in the UK? Do you breed your own rodents as well?
I do not, no. So can you feed live in the UK? Yes, you can. But it's frowned upon, because I don't truly understand why. I imagine it's the same in most places. It's the nice, cute little rodent that you're putting in a snake tub, and you think, right, okay, but the one that I've just got out the freezer is no different. That was a nice, cute rodent before the person that I've basically paid to humanly euthanize it. Do you know what I mean? And in actuality, the most humane way for a rodent to pass for the purpose of feeding the snake is to let the snake do the job, because a snake will, quite frankly, put that rodent out of its misery quicker than any human euthanization method. But I digress. The answer is yes, you can feed live in the UK. With me having a license, I choose not to, because I don't know what their rules would be, whether I would have to have a separate license for rodents as well. I don't know. I've never explored that avenue. So yes, you can. No, I don't, basically.
Yeah.
Which just means, all it means is it just means assist feeding a bit more, because none of my adults have ever been on live. Hatchlings probably would feed quicker on live because it's their natural instinct. But there's no real benefit to feeding live. Nobody wants to buy a live feeder. Quite frankly, I don't want to have rats and look after them. So yes, you can. No, I don't.
Yeah, fair. No, I totally get it. I don't either. I feed frozen only. And with the hatchlings, yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to, assist feed one or two for a week or two, but I haven't had any terrible experiences. So, yeah, it's not worth it
I
for
hate
me to
feeding.
start breeding.
I hate assist
But-
feeding.
Yeah, so do I.
There's
Anyway,
nothing
so-
more frustrating as a breeder than you're trying to help an animal and it's quite literally sticking it back in your face and you go in, I'm trying to help you, my guy. It just frustrates the living hell out of me.
Yeah, exactly. And they're trying to run for their life, and you're like, and
Yeah.
you're trying to be careful not to hurt them because they're so tiny. And yeah, it's not good stuff. It's not a good experience at all. Anyway, so yeah, you don't breed live. You don't breed rodents. Sorry. So give us your snake room horror story.
Snake room horror story. I mean, everyone's had an escapee, haven't they? I've had 2 escapees in my time. There's no worse feeling than coming in and seeing a tub open. I mean, I've not had an escapee now probably for 6 years, but that would have to be. Ironically, my horror story is to do with a live rodent. So, I mean, we've all had snakes where you have been assist feeding for months and they just do not pick it up, and you have to. There's no choice, but you have to live feed. And if anyone ever came to me or like my license officer and said, "Oh, you have live fed," then well, if it's been a couple of months and the animal's going to perish without a live meal, then yes, I've live fed. But I have had to live feed, and I have dropped a rodent, and a little rodent running around your room is the worst nightmare in the world. I've not got a big room. The racks do not move. And the little shit's just looking back at you going, "You're not going to catch me, are you?" And I've probably spent 3 hours just staring at this rodent under a rack going, "Please make a move, because I can't reach you. I can't get to you, but I also don't want you to sit there and gnaw through any wires." So yeah, I have had a live mouse on the run. Don't tell my mother. Eventually it came out, but it was I just lost an entire day staring at this bloody mouse under a rack.
Man, I couldn't imagine. Yeah, couldn't imagine.
And then people that actually breed rodents and have them escape all the time, I think, then another reason not to.
Yeah, fair. So the opposite then, what's the best snake room moment off the top of your head?
I know what my best snake moment is. And ironically, it is sadly followed up by one of my worst. I went down the route of a funny story rather than telling a bit of a sad one, but it all comes into one here. So when I started breeding, like I said, pied was what I wanted to do. Once I realized that I wanted to breed, the next question was, what do I want to breed? And the first thing I ever saw that I wanted to produce was a black and white snake. At the time, the only one was a panda pied, a super black pastel pied. My first ever clutch was a black pewter pied to a black pastel het pied. So it was 1 in 16 odds for a panda. I got 4 eggs, and it was my first ever clutch. And I remember it vividly. You couldn't make the story up. The first egg I cut was a pied, a standard pied, and I was like, "This is it. This is what I'm doing. Like, this is pied." Yeah. The second egg was a normal het pied, and this was like, right. Again, this is a story in itself. It's the lowest of snakes you can produce. The third ever egg I cut in my first ever clutch was a panda pied. And I've never felt anything like it. There's a video of me on YouTube just crying like a 10-year-old kid because I had this snake in an egg, and I was like, "I've done it. I don't need to do anything else. I've done it. This is my dream snake in my first ever clutch." So that was my best ever moment, Roger. And then 2 weeks later, a deformity, snake was dead.
I knew that's where this was going.
The highest of highs, lowest of lows in the first sort of 2 weeks of my breeding career, life, whatever you want to call it. Jeez. And I was like, it doesn't get better and it doesn't get worse. And as cruel as it is, this hobby has just taught me everything I need to know about this game immediately.
Yeah. I mean, that's
you'll never take it away from me, which is why it's still my best moment, Roger, because
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my first clutch, I lost one of the eggs as well. Well, not the eggs, one of the snakes. I remember, and it was actually the out of 6 eggs, she was the, well, I think I don't know if it was a male or female, but first one to hatch. I paired the double head ultra male hypo to a lesser ultra male male, and yeah, day 50, whatever comes, I check the incubator. I have a head sitting out of the egg. It was a lesser ultra male. I was over the moon. I was like, yes. I left them sitting. The next morning, I come to check. Egg's still there. Everything's good. I go to work. I come home from work, and I say, today's the day. I'm going to cut the rest of the eggs, whatever. This snake, as soon as I pull it out, pull the box out of the incubator, this snake had crawled out partially out of the egg and died. So, like, before I could even cut any other egg, I just see a dead snake, and I was like, oh, come on, no way. But anyway, the other 5 eggs, I had 2 ultra males, 2 lesser ultra males, and 1 normal ultra male. So it was all right. It made up for it. But yeah, that first she died, and it was a shame. But anyway, so I mean, I'm conscious of time here because we're way past the hour mark. But
that's good.
I know time just goes, right? It just flies. What's the future for you, for your business? What can you tell the people what they expect from you in the next while?
That's an interesting question, right? I'm going to split this down into 3 things as well. You get used to this, Roger. So the first thing I'm going to say is, like, I'm going to continue to work on Pied. I'm going to continue to try and get Pied back to where it needs to be. I'm not arrogant, but I am proud of where I'm at with Pied in the UK. In terms of the combos that I'm producing, I don't know who else is on par with me at the moment in terms of some of the stuff I'm doing, and I'd like to keep that. I'm really proud of the work I'm doing. The second piece is I'm working on a new project, like I say, that I'm not going to talk about. I shall reveal all sort of next year, and there's a reason for that. And then the third and the brutal honest answer is, once the ball python market comes back, the next time we are in a boom, I will sell up and leave the industry, if I'm being totally honest. And that's purely because, I'm a 26-year-old guy that's going to have, life-changing things happening in the next 10 years. And, I'm very passionate about this, but having, 70 snakes does limit where you can go and what you can do. A week and a half in Portugal is great, but I wouldn't want to really burden anyone because my family aren't snake people. I wouldn't really want that, I mean, it limits you. So but I'm also too stubborn to sell now because I've put so much hard work into this, and I don't want to see what I know is up there in terms of Pied collections going for tuppence, for nothing. So that's it's broken down into 3. Continuing to try and get Pied back to where it needs to be, and enjoying making combos, working on something in the background that I've not told people about. But yes, next time we have a boom, I will disappear. Not entirely. I should always keep a few snakes, but I just won't be doing it like I'm doing it now.
Fair. Yeah. And hats off to you, for putting it out there and stuff. But it's all good.
There's no point in not being honest. Do you know what I mean? There's just no point. Like as I say, life changes. I will always have snakes, but I just won't always be breeding snakes. It's not sad. Like I say, look, I'm still going to be around, I think, for probably another 5 years, guys. If I'm being entirely honest, I don't think that the market is going to come back for at least another 2 or 3. But then when you remember the fact that it takes 2 or 3 years to breed a snake, in general, you're looking at 4 or 5 years before I truly believe that the game is back on a proper at its peak again. And people might not want to hear that, but that's my genuine opinion, is that it will be 2030 before we're back to where we potentially were in 2020.
Everyone's
so you're not getting rid of me yet, guys. Like I said, I've just brought into, and I'm working on a brand new project that I'm going to reveal in 12 months' time. I'm not going anywhere just yet, guys.
Yeah, that's what's up. Looking forward to seeing what you've got. But yeah, so what's your, best breeder pro tip?
Stick to what you're passionate about and don't follow the trends. If I was following trends, I wouldn't have a pied, but I also would not be enjoying what I'm doing. And that is the most simple advice that you can give. Everyone will have said the same thing. Don't just buy everything when you start out, but do that, because that's part of it, guys. When you first get into it and you see that really cool looking snake, you don't know what it's going to do. You don't know if you're really going to need it in 5 years, but that's what you want at that moment in time. And to be honest, that's how you have to start in this game, and you have to make mistakes to learn. But yeah, stick to what you're passionate about.
And yeah, I'd say you're probably the best person to give that advice, because like I said, don't follow trends. Just do what you love. I mean, you started this because you wanted and you loved pieds, and to this day, you're still SPR. So
yep.
Yeah, that's beautiful. All right.
And even with I'm working on, still pied.
All right, cool. Nomination time.
Yeah. I've thought about this actually, and I've thought, who do I really want to see get some airtime that probably needs it in the UK? And I've not told them this is coming. But I'd like to see JTW Pythons in the UK come on here. I think he's started growing in the UK scene. Some of the work he's doing on Monsoon, some of the work he's doing with different combos. I'm really enjoying seeing his work, and I'd like to see him on here. So yeah, JTW, I'm calling you out, buddy. It'd be good to see you on here representing the UK, mate.
Awesome. Love that. Yeah, we'll I'll reach out and see if we can make it happen. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's all I've got for today. Do you have anything you want to plug, shout out, mention?
No, I don't think so. Look, I mean, I've got all the standard platforms that everyone's got, so they're not going to be anything different. Social media, Morph Market, YouTube, all the same stuff. But I suppose the only thing is, like, anyone who's ever in the UK, if you ever want to stop by, you don't have to be buying from me to have a look around the snakes. Nothing's ever off limits. If you see me at the show in Houghton, come up and tap me on the shoulder and tell me I'm that funky curly haired guy from the podcast. But just don't expect me to remember your name, because
I love it.
I'm terrible with names. Roger, I won't even remember your name by the time I meet you. So yeah, don't hold that against me. Appreciate someone in the chat saying I'm wise. If that's how I've come across in the last hour and a half, then I've done a good job here. But I think what you're doing is great, Roger. I think let's do this again next year, because I think one thing that that's a piece of advice for you would be, if you can try and get the same guests back on next year, and you get that kind of like what's happened in the last 12 months element into these podcasts.
Oh yeah,
I think you can just start to create a story and a journey with the breeders that you're bringing on as well.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the plan. Yeah, but even today, there's questions here I didn't get to ask. So yeah, part 2. Let's get it, baby.
Love it, mate. Love it.
No, like I said, I didn't want to say, because I didn't want to interrupt you when you were talking. You'll probably not remember my name, but if you see me in Houghton, you could call me Pappy. I know you're not a beautiful Latina woman, but I'll take it.
Yeah, all right, I'll remember that.
That's the dream, right? Get called Pappy by a beautiful Latina woman.
Yeah.
Anyway, appreciate you coming on. And I'm sure we'll see each other face to face someday. If not Houghton, then I mean next time you come to Portugal, because it's obviously a recurrent thing for you.
Yeah.
And like I said, yeah, big friends with Ricardo. I mean, I'm very close, and yeah, I'm sure we'll see each other face to face again. Yeah, guys, you can follow Matt, SPR Pythons. All the links are in the description. I do go through the trouble of getting that all good for you guys. So Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Morph Market, all that good stuff is there. Yeah, go give my boy a follow. And that's it, guys. I will say goodbye to these people. And yeah, feel free to hang back if you want. If not, I've taken up enough of your time today, I think.
Nah, perfect. Nah, I appreciate it, mate.
Yeah.
Take care, guys.
It's been a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. It has been Matt. Thanks, dude. Well, okay. So I feel like I'm out of breath. Talked a lot today. Yeah, guys, thank you for being here. Nikki, always a pleasure having you in the chats, my friend. Yeah, you've always got a lot to say, which is great. Appreciate it. And yeah, everybody else in the comments, thank you for being here. And you know the deal. We'll be back next Friday with another great episode for you guys. Yeah, is my next guest on the chat? I don't think I saw my next guest on the chat today, but he shows up from time to time. That's all I'm gonna say. You know, you have to wait until Thursday next week to see who the guest is. Ooh, excuse me. So, guys, as always, if you've enjoyed this episode, just do me a big favor. You know, hit that like button. Consider subscribing. Share this to another fellow breeder or keeper. Yeah, we're building this community within Europe together, and every bit of support helps us keep the passion alive. Guys, as always, you can find more of my work at Pappy's Premium Pythons on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Morph Market. And yeah, I guess that's it. And enjoy the weekend. Until next time, stay focused on the passion and keep those projects moving. Pappy out.